All right, so we're talking about John and Sarah saving money for a car, and we're given two functions, one for how much money John will save, and the other one is how much Sarah will save. And we want to know after how many weeks will they have the same amount of money. So what we're going to do is solve this as a system of equations. Because both of these things are equal to y, I'm going to use substitution and set them equal to each other. So I'm going to have x squared plus 46 equals 60 plus 5x. I want to get everything on one side so that I have 0 on the right side of my equation. So I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides, and I'm putting it here in the middle because I don't have a like term to combine it with. And then I'm going to subtract 60 from both sides. So I would have x squared minus 5x, and then 46 minus 60 is negative 14. And then everything on the right side gives me 0, which is what I wanted. Now at this point you have two choices. You can factor, which is what I'm going to choose to do, or you can use quadratic formula if you just really truly hate factoring. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 14 and add to negative 5. Those two numbers are negative 7 and positive 2. So I'm going to set up my factors here. X minus 7, x plus 2 equals 0. When I set each of these things equal to 0, and solve them, I'm going to get x equals positive 7 and x equals negative 2. So remember here, and it says here, after how many weeks will they have the same amount of money? And that is what x represents. So even though I have two answers here, I really only am going to use one of them because we can't talk about negative 2 weeks of them saving. That would be like 2 weeks before they started saving money. That doesn't make sense. So this answer is going to get thrown out because in the context of this problem, it doesn't make sense. So x equals 7 is my one and only x value. So what I need to do now is take that x value and plug it in so that I can figure out what the corresponding y value is. Because not only did it ask how many weeks, but we kind of also want to know how much money they would have. So I'm going to plug in x equals 7, and I'm going to choose to plug it into this equation here because it's a little bit simpler. So I would have y equals 60 plus 5x, but now I know x is 7. So that would be 60 plus 35, which is 95. So I now know both pieces of information that I need to know, and that is that after 7 weeks, both John and Sarah will have saved $95.